Today we're looking at President William Howard Taft. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. William Howard Taft was the 27th President of the United States from 1909 to 1913 and was a member of the Republican Party. Remembered as one of the nation's largest presidents, weighing in at nearly 340 pounds, Taft would be the only man in history to serve as Secretary of War, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and the President of the United States. William Howard Taft was born on September 15, 1857, in Cincinnati, Ohio, one of 5 children born to Alphonso Taft and his wife, Louise Torrey Taft. His father, Alphonso Taft, was a lawyer and a politician who served as Secretary of War and Attorney General during the presidential administration of Ulysses S. Grant. Taft was an excellent student. He went to Yale University where he studied hard and graduated second in his class in 1878. After college, he returned to Ohio to study law at the University of Cincinnati School of Law and became a lawyer in 1880. Taft always had a love for law, which would shape his career. In 1886, he married Helen Herron, and together they would have 3 children. In 1887, at just the age of 29, he was appointed as a judge in Ohio. He earned a reputation for being wise and honest. This reputation helped him get noticed by national leaders. In 1890, President Benjamin Harrison appointed Taft as the U.S. Solicitor General, a prestigious job where he argued cases for the government before the Supreme Court. Later, he became a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals, one of the highest courts in the country. Although all of his experience was working in the law, in 1900 he took a different kind of job when President William McKinley sent him to the Philippines. Taft was chosen to help the Philippines rebuild its government after the Spanish-American War. He worked hard to create schools, roads, and a legal system there. In 1904, President Theodore Roosevelt asked Taft to join his cabinet as Secretary of War. Roosevelt and Taft had been close friends, and Roosevelt saw Taft as the perfect person to follow him as president. With Roosevelt's support, Taft was able to win the Republican nomination for president in the election of 1908 and defeated Democratic candidate William Jennings Bryan in the general election. William Howard Taft was inaugurated as the 27th President of the United States on March 4th of 1909. As president, he focused on continuing many of Roosevelt's policies, like regulating business to protect consumers. However, Taft was more cautious than Roosevelt. While he worked to improve the economy and enforce laws, he wasn't as bold in his progressive ideas as Roosevelt had been, and Teddy Roosevelt, who had been Taft's strongest supporter, began to criticize Taft and his leadership. One of Taft's significant achievements was expanding trade with foreign countries. He believed that strong economic ties could keep peace between nations. Concerning domestic affairs or policies within the United States, it was under Taft's administration that a permanent federal income tax was established. Taft also faced criticism from progressives in his own political party. They thought he wasn't doing enough to fight for reforms, especially when he supported a high tariff that raised prices for consumers. His differences with Roosevelt led to a split in the Republican Party. In 1912, Roosevelt ran against Taft as a third-party candidate on the Bull Moose Party ticket. The split vote between Taft and Roosevelt allowed Democratic candidate Woodrow Wilson to win the presidency. After leaving the White House in 1913, Taft was relieved to step away from politics. He returned to his first love, the law. For several years, he worked as a professor at Yale Law School and wrote about legal and political topics. In 1921, President Warren G. Harding appointed Taft as Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. This was Taft's dream job and the role he was most proud of. He served as Chief Justice for nearly 9 years and worked to improve the court system. He is the only man in history to lead both the executive branch and judicial branch of the U.S. government. Additionally, he is the only president to swear into office later presidents swearing in both Calvin Coolidge and Herbert Hoover. Taft faced many health problems later in life, partly due to his weight. He worked hard to improve his health, losing over 100 pounds after leaving the White House. Despite his efforts, his health declined and he passed away on March 8, 1930, at the age of 72. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.